We're ready to go. Here's the tell the tape for the current WBO welterweight champion of the world, Terrence Bud Crawford. He comes into the ring at age 34. He fights out of the southpaw stance sometimes. He stands 5'8" tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a lengthy 74-inch reach. He was born and now still resides in Omaha, Nebraska. He comes into the record with a perfect record of 38 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 29 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what's there to like about Terrence Bud Crawford?
Like I said, I previewed this matchup 3 years ago when it should have happened, but this fight, yeah, it's still the same. You know, both fighters are, pretty much. They haven't slipped yet. Okay, they're still performing at a high level. Crawford, man, he's the game's one of the best. I say he's the best right now in controlling range and distance. An ambidextrous, highly skilled switch hitter. Okay, he could go right-handed, left-handed, and his jab from either stance is highly effective. Doesn't miss a beat. His ability to counter from either position doesn't miss a beat. A high boxing IQ can make those adjustments on the fly and everything. Physically strong and can punch. Excellent in setting traps. He's good at setting traps. Excellent in, taking advantage of your mistakes. But like I said, Joe, his ability to switch stances, going back and forth, to stay one step ahead of you. His lead hand, the jab or the right jab or the left jab, equally effective. But I like I said, Joe, in the past, his ability, if he's in the left-handed stance, okay, and he's controlling you and he's comfortable and he feels that you're not getting any momentum, okay, he's going to stay in that stance. But once he feels that momentum is starting to shift to your side, okay, he's losing control of the fight. Then he'll switch stances just to break your rhythm, okay, break your timing. Boy, that's that just, like I said, all that momentum that you got going all of a sudden comes to a screeching halt and everything. So, yeah, Joe. Yeah, he's, you know what I mean? He's definitely, to me, I have him listed as the best pound, him and Canelo as the best pound for pound fighters in the world and everything.
Wow, I tell you what, I can't wait to see this, Coach. And yeah, that's why most ringside observers, most experts, they have Terrence Crawford listed as at least their number 1 or number 2 best pound for pound fighter in the world. And I don't think that's any coincidence. Now let's take a look at the tell the tape of the now 3-belt champion, unified champion at 147 pounds, Errol Spence Jr. The truth comes into the ring at age 32. He fights out of the southpaw stance. He stands 5'9.5" tall in the center of the ring, fights behind a 72-inch reach, originally from New York, now from DeSoto, Texas. He comes into the ring and had just improved his record to 28 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 22 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what makes Errol Spence Jr. so effective in the ring up to this point?
You saw it last night, his ability to get inside the pocket and break it down, okay? His inside game, Joe. I talked about it last week. Everything I talked about last week, his game plan, what he needed to do to beat Ugas.
It was perfect, Coach. It was perfect.
He did it. I mean, he's inside. That's what he does best, okay? His inside game, his ability to throw combinations to the body, head, body, creatively like Canelo. He's resilient and he's relentless, Joe. Okay, all right. He's never satisfied. He always has that hunger. Once he gets inside, that's where he wants to be. Okay, he's got a lot of meanness and toughness in him when he gets in that pocket with a high skill level and he's smart, Joe. He exploits those openings close up in close quarters, and he creates openings, okay, by the combinations he throws. He's resilient, Joe, on the inside. Not only that, Joe, he's a good boxer from the outside. He has a real good long lead jab, that right jab, and his footwork, moves in and out real good. Yeah, and he has a real high guard defense. He's real smart. If you hit him with a good shot, he'll make that adjustment, and make sure not to get hit with it again. But his strength is right there in the pocket, like last night, Joe. You seen it. He just broke down Ugas and with the attrition of shots round after round after round. The uppercuts, the body shots, the short hooks to the head, everything. I listened to that. I usually don't listen to the breakdown. After the show's done, I usually don't listen to it. But this time, after the Spence fight, after he won, I listened to it again yesterday to see what I thought, what I said, and I was pretty much accurate. Yeah, on what I said on what Spence needed to do to beat Ugas. And it's going to be the same thing with Crawford. Same exact thing. Get in close. Make it a phone booth war. Okay. Damn, I've seen these guys fight all the time, man. I don't even need to watch tape, and I know what their game plan is going to be. You know what I mean? It's he ain't going to change nothing for the Crawford fight. He's going to do what he does best, and that's ground and pound in the pocket. Power running game, I call it.
And there it is. I tell you what, then, what would be then, Coach, the keys to victory? Because most experts that I talk to, they're not on the fence with this one. Most of them seem to believe that Crawford is going to, spark Errol Spence Jr., hand him his first professional loss, go through him like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
What does Crawford have to do to look effective against, someone I've never seen look good against? And that's Errol Spence Jr.
Basically establish range and distance. Control range and distance as much as he can from the right-handed, left-handed position. That's what makes him so good, Joe. That's what's going to confuse Spence, his ability to go right and left. You know what I mean? Get that jab established, okay? Set traps, sharp counters. But main thing, once he gets his jab established, Joe, and his movement around the ring, you know what I mean? And if he catches him with counters, he's got to hurt Spence. Spence is a bully. What do bullies like to do? They like to take your lunch money. So the best way to, put fear in a bully is punch him in the mouth. And he's got to get his attention early on, okay? He's got to get and hurt him. So it kind of puts fear into Spence's head about, just come walking in straight like he did with Ugas and everything.
Wow. So what would be the keys to victory? Because once again, and just as I said going into the
victory is that control distance. You don't want to get in a phone booth. You don't want to get in a phone booth war with Spence. Once you get there, tie him up, smother him, tie him up as much as you can, man. You know what I mean?
No, got you. Now I was going to ask you, and once again, it's the same scenario. This is what makes this matchup so intriguing. Just as I said, I've never seen anyone able to control range or look good against Errol Spence Jr. Well, the same can be said for Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, this is a completely different animal. Both guys will be looking at going into this fight is what makes this fight so amazing. So I'm going to ask you, what does Errol Spence have to do to beat Terrence Crawford? What are the keys to victory for EJ, sir?
Establish that jab, okay? Establish that fat. Use his forward, moving in and out of range to confuse Crawford. So Crawford can't time him and counter. But, in and out of range, establish that jab, close the distance, okay? Crawford's going to be moving around the ring, okay? Cut all escape routes off. Cut all of his escape routes off by the ropes or in the corners. Try to make him a stationary target as much as possible, and you do that usually on the corners of the ropes. And once you make him a stationary target, don't let Errol Spence tie him up. Okay. I mean, don't let Crawford tie him up. Okay. Don't let Crawford tie you up. Okay. All right. Because if Crawford ties you up and everything, man, it's gonna, all that work and all that momentum you got to closing the distance, and he ties you up, breaks your rhythm. Okay, then you got to restart yourself and everything. Okay, so don't let Crawford tie you up. You know what I mean, or smother you. Keep that space. You know what I mean. Keep that space you need to operate effectively at close range. You know, you can throw them short, sharp, crisp combinations from all angles to the body, head, body. But yeah, that's what I would do. Crawford's gonna be moving, okay? He's gonna be setting traps like he did with Porter. So he's got to be careful, moving in and out of range, man, not to get caught in one of them traps and get hit with one of them sharp counters and get hurt. Okay, so that jab has got to be effective, man. That jab has got to be effective for Spence when he's closing the distance, using his footwork, getting closer and closer, moving laterally, left to right, to what do you call it? Eliminate them escape routes and pin them on the ropes or in the corner. That's going to be his high chance and high probability of being most effective when he has them as a stationary target. In the center of the ring, Spence is going to tie him up if it gets close.
Oh, Crawford is going to tie him up when he gets close. Yep.
Not Spence. Excuse me. Crawford is going to tie him up. Sorry.
It's all right.
Crawford's physically strong where he can, he can get in there and wrestle with Spence, man. Because Crawford used to be a wrestler, okay?
You know what? That's an excellent point, Gogue. One that I completely forgot about because I was just going to say I've never seen anyone successfully tie up Errol Spence Jr. And you didn't see it last night with Yordenis Ugas. Errol Spence just tucked in those elbows and started just drilling those uppercuts and hooks from short range.
But Crawford used to wrestle, okay? He knows all the
That is an excellent
nuances.
point, man.
He knows all the nuances and how to tie you up, and he's physically strong where, you know what I mean, he could wrestle with you and everything and meet your strength head on. I think, he'll be able to neutralize that, that hard physical. That's going to be hard to do, though, for Crawford. To neutralize that hard physical pressure. You got to be physically strong, to get in the trenches and smother him and tie him up and wrestling him around, which he is. That's what, this was like a couple years ago, man. Or last year, I started seeing that, okay, now he has that physical strength to, meet him in the pocket, not fight him, but just smother him and tie him up and everything, okay? But outside, if this fight stays on the outside, long as this fight stays on the outside, Crawford's going to box his ears off, man, okay, at range and distance. Spence's only chance of winning this fight is right in the phone booth, okay? And make it a battle of attrition, trench warfare like he did with Ugas. But the thing is, I don't think Crawford, he knows how to adapt. Okay, he knows how to make adjustments and everything, and he has good, tying up skills, smothering skills, and neutralize all that shit that Spence brings to the table. Okay, but yeah, so they got Crawford what -125, Joe?
-125 for Errol Spence, plus 105 for Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, I'm still going with Crawford, man. You know what I mean?